Hi, today I'm gonna be going over my pit amplifier for endurance, but before I start showing the build, I just wanted to tell you that I'm gonna be updating the description of the videos. First, just adding screenshots of anything I forgot to show or mention during the builds. For example, in my home base video, I didn't show the back of the building, and I visited a few people's bases and they didn't place those walls and that cone because they couldn't see it very well while I was showing the front during the video. So I'm gonna be adding stuff like that for anything I forget to mention or if I change anything on any of the amplifiers. Then I'm gonna be adding a spreadsheet that's gonna show all the perks used on all the traps for every amp, and also it's gonna tell you how many structures are used on every amplifier. And finally, I'm gonna be adding a Discord invite for our Discord server. It's called the Endurance Lounge, and there we just host and join other people's endurances. So if you want to join, just make sure to read the rules and yeah. Now for the build, it's gonna be pretty simple. We're just gonna block this whole side because there's a lava bomb on the middle, because usually the tornado on wave 4 is gonna hit the middle the most. So if you are doing a trap tunnel here, it's gonna take out a lot of the traps. So it's gonna be much better to just block it off. And it's gonna make it a lot cheaper, just using one tunnel instead. So basically, all the huts are gonna spawn from here up to there, all the way back. And they are gonna come all the way here into the tunnel. They're gonna be hit by all the sound walls just to get rid of the propanes. There's wall darts behind every window. Some are gonna be punched by the wall launcher into here, and more sound walls. Then they come down here, hit by everything. Then down here, they get hit by a ton of wall darts and all the wall dynamos at the same time. Then here, then here. And finally, smashers are gonna charge from here if any survives and try to break there. And husks are gonna just jump down here and start beating on this wall, trying to get to this side of the amp. So first we're gonna start with the block of on this side, on the lava bomb side. From this natural elevation, you're just gonna build walls all the way until the tunnel, and half floors that are just gonna keep us at a bigger distance, which makes them less likely to start punching and start breaking everything. Then just ramps until you can place any ramps here because of this natural ramp. And below the ramps, there's just gonna be floors set this way. The same here. There's one box with one pyramid and a floor like that. Then here there's another pyramid and we have a floor like this. Then we have those floors like that below. Here we have one tile with nothing and two tiles with like that. And as you can see, the lava bomb is gonna land right in the middle without breaking anything. Here we have another half floor. This is just in case any Flinger spawns this side and thinks that maybe it can climb up this natural ramp and start throwing. And then here more walls, more ramps, and inside more ready-built floors. Like that. And one last one like that. Then we come here. There's no floor below. And here, no floor. That's 2 full sandwiches here. We come down and there's just 3 walls and 1 edited floor. Because cats will try to come here, then fall, and then follow like this and fall here. If you don't block anything. So, once again, I'm showing from above. You can see all the edited floors like that. And then for the block up in the middle, we're just gonna come to this natural ramp and we place 3 floors and 3 pyramids and just block it up. And then surround that with walls. Here we have 1 edited cone pointed that way. 2 more. We're not using any edited floors here. And then just those 3 are just gonna be just full walls with 3 pyramids edited in the middle, like that, until there. Here it doesn't need it because it's gonna be too high for them to try to fall off, so there's no point in blocking here. And then we come this way. Here I'm placing 1 floor because this is where I'm gonna be placing my base when I'm going AFK. Then we place 2 walls, 2 pyramids, and fill that with walls. And that will be pretty much for the block up on this side. And then, since we're here, we can place 3 floors like that. Those are gonna be holding 3 ceiling drop traps. I'm not placing them here. I'm putting ceiling electric fields because that will give a pathing to the path, and they will just break through those few walls. Now, for the trap perks, and to show the tunnel a bit better, we can start with these 4 stone walls. Here, I'm using with 5 durability and increased building health. You can use any other wall trap that has increased building health instead. For example, a wall spike that has increased building health. But some walls are gonna be better because if any house starts punching here, for example, or here, the sun is gonna hit them, and while they are dancing, they're gonna think again, and they're gonna choose to go inside the tunnel. And I'm not using any reload because if you put reload on the sun walls, they're gonna run out faster. And if those run out, there's more chances that any house is gonna try to break because the wall is not gonna have the increased health anymore. Then we come here, this first sun wall, using with 5 durability and 1 reload, just the slowest one we're gonna use. Then since fans are gonna be standing here a lot, we're gonna use two pretty fast ones. We're gonna use for durability to reload, and I think I'm using with for durability one reload and a blue reload. That's these two, because the wall launcher is gonna send all the fast here. They're gonna be frozen here for a while, so it is the sand walls that are gonna be used the most. Then here you can use with a purple reload instead. Here we have the last two. You can use one with one reload and a green reload, and a reload and a gray reload, just to have all the different fast reloads we can have. Then the floor freeze trap, just 3 durability, 2 reload and effect duration. You don't need impact on this one. Then for this wall launcher, I'm just using with 4 durability and 2 reload. Behind this wall launcher, because here is this natural ramp, sometimes has are gonna be able to face inside. So just for that reason, I'm using a healing ceiling gas trap. This one. Rating, double crit damage, and heals attached. And behind the wall launcher, I'm using a wall dynamo with the heals attached. Just rating, double crit damage, and heals. And we're gonna put back the wall launcher there. Then all these ceiling gas traps are the same as other amplifiers, with crit rating, double crit damage, and effect duration. Same as in other amplifiers, you can change the gas traps for ceiling electric fields and place them one tile higher, but I like ceiling gas traps, so I'm keeping them. Then the wooden floor spikes, I'm using the grid build as usual, like this. Again, like I said in another video, you can replace the durability with heals attached, just in case there's any propane explosion. That way they're gonna heal themselves. And then this floor trap, the same as the other one. Then the retractables, same as other amplifiers. Just crit rating, double crit damage, and durability. We use a lot down here just to finish any class that makes it out or any smashers. Then all these broadsides, you can replace them with dynamos if you want. I'm just testing with broadsides instead, but both are gonna work. Broadsides tend to be better for smashers, but dynamos will be better for has most of the time. So it's up to you. I'm just using with a reload and crit rating, crit damage, and damage. You can also mix them with double crit damage if you want, but since this is so close to the beginning, I'm just using with a reload on both sides, all these 4. Then here you can use one with one reload and one with double crit damage. And that one. And then for the last broadsides, these 2 are gonna be with double crit damage again. Then we have a ton of wall darts. I'm just using the same as usual, crit rating, double crit damage, and damage. You could, in a couple spots, use with the reload speed, maybe. Like, for example, those ceiling drop shots are gonna hold the has here. So, for example, you could, if you want, use a reload on maybe that one or that one. Because while the has is getting stunned here, the welder is gonna have time to reload. but that's if you want. I'm just using the same perks on all of them and just doing the double crit damage. We actually use a lot of wall darts, and a few are hidden, so maybe I'm gonna show you again. Those are all wall darts. Then here there's this other wall dart shooting through the window. We have this other wall dart that was a bit hidden, shooting through this window. The same here. Here you don't have room for that. We have another wall dart shooting there, another one shooting that way. And here we have one last one for any smasher usually that gets to this tile. You could add one more like here, for example, if you need, or like here on top. But and there were a couple more here at the beginning. You have to place a floor here, and it's shooting through this sun wall. Same here. You have this wall dart shooting through a window, and you have two other wall darts, one shooting through a window, and one just shooting through any have that's pathing here. So here, this is a window, this is a window, and this is a window. Then just showing a bit better the block up on this side. You have this pyramid here, just in case any has is trying to break through there. Come this way. And you have these other two, one just for this wall there, and the other just in case any has tries to break here and path this way, avoiding all the other traps. Then for these three drop traps, I'm just using rating, crit damage, and reload speed. And you can see that one is pointed to push the husk this way. This one is gonna push the husk this way. And that one is gonna push the husk this way. Then the ceiling electric field, we're just using with energy, crit rating, double crit damage and damage. You can't use nature traps on this amplifier because wave 24 is gonna be a fire wave, and nature traps would be really bad against fire smashers and fire hats, so it's a bad idea to use them on this amp. So that's why all the ceiling electric fields and all the wall dynamos are gonna be energy. And here we have this one is gonna have a reload, just like this, crit rating, crit damage, and reload speed, energy. Here this one can have a reload, and then all of these ones are gonna have double crit damage, because usually only the smashers should make it this far into the tunnel. So this one, these two, all of these ones, and these other two are gonna have all double crit damage. And that should be it. And the last trap is gonna be here. This is just in case any has makes it out if the trap durability started to run out at the beginning of the tunnel. And it's just gonna have heals attached and double crit rating, double crit damage. It shouldn't get used if everything goes well, but let's say if a lot of random waves are hitting the amp, then the tunnel is gonna run out of durability and some can start to get through. So just in case, we have that one as the last resource, pretty much. And also on this last ceiling drop traps, you could use like ceiling electric fields instead. I'm just using with double crit damage. This one's creating double crit damage and damage. Uh, Usually the tornado can hit on this side a bit. For example, it's gonna remove a couple retractables sometimes, and a few of the, for example, that one, maybe a couple of these drop traps and those retractables. But sometimes it won't break them, so it's good to have them just in case they don't break. The tornado only breaks ceiling traps and floor traps, so those are the only ones that could break potentially. I used to have a smasher timeout here and another one here, but the tornado kept breaking the tar pits, and in that way the smasher timeouts didn't work, so I just replaced it with extra damage the regular way. Now for the miniboss, usually the boss is gonna just follow the same pathing as everyone else, and then come down here, and it's gonna break these two walls and a couple other walls like this other, and it's gonna start just dancing here, moving back and forth for the rest of the way, so you don't have to worry about the miniboss. And then smashers usually should die until like wave 24, but wave 26 sometimes the smasher can go through, because by wave 26 your trap durability is gonna be low, so usually these few traps are gonna be gone by that wave. So sometimes the smasher can leave and it's gonna charge and start breaking everything here. Breaking all these walls usually takes like 1 whole minute for one smasher, so that's why we have so many walls around. And after that the smasher is gonna come up the ramp and start looking for the next closest wall to the amplifier. In this case it's gonna be that wall and then this one. So what the smasher does is come all the way up here, fall here and get damaged again. If it doesn't die, then it comes down here and starts punching. So they usually die from all the traps, like going through the tunnel a second time. If it doesn't die, it does the same thing. It breaks that wall and then falls all the way down, comes back up, and starts looking for these two walls. And then it has to charge at this one and then punch the other two. So it really should die here and no more problems. Other thing you can do is you can place a couple walls here. So when a smasher or a boss runs out of closer walls to the amp, it's gonna come here, try to charge at the walls, and you send them flying. And that's just like a last measure that avoids any hacks from breaking all the rest of the tunnel, because it has those two walls closer to the amp than all the other walls close that are forming the tunnel. However, usually until Y24 all the smashers should die in the tunnel, unless you had really bad luck with the tornado and the tornado broke like all your floor traps and all your ceiling traps. But it's very rare that happens. You usually have most of the floor traps just standing at the end of the wave 4 with the tornado. Now for assassins and flingers. Assassins are usually gonna come down here, and they either just stand over here, or sometimes they walk up this smasher bridge for the bridge amplifier and just look at you from the distance while you're standing on the AFK spot. And then flingers can do a few things. Usually, when you have this completely open, they want to come all the way here, there, here, and stand in here and start throwing at the amplifier. That's their usual pattern. So what I'm doing is I'm putting this wall launcher with just for the ability to reload, and that pushes the flingers into the lava. However, this section of the lava doesn't kill mist monsters. It can kill regular husks, but not mist monsters. So the flinger is gonna walk all the way there from just walking on the lava, come down here and start throwing. But as I'm about to show a clip, what the flinger does it starts trying to throw husks, but the husk can die on the lava. So when the husk spawns on the hand of the flinger, the husk dies in the lava, so the flinger doesn't throw anything. So it's gonna be stuck in a loop of just the throwing animation until the end of the wave. But there's a bug since I think one update ago, where if there's more than one flinger, the flinger can actually come up the terrain here and start throwing. So that's why I'm adding these two floors. When I show the clip, you can see that if I edit the floor this way, just to pretend the floor isn't here, the flingers can throw really easily at the amp standing here. But if I add the floor, they don't come up. But if there's multiple flingers, like let's say there's 3 or 4 flingers, that can still happen. Now, there was another way to deal with them. Instead of pushing them down with the wall launcher, breaking the wall launcher, and you could, for example, block the pathing. And since that pathing is closed and they can't go to their preferred spot, they can come down here. In the past, this was better, and you could just place 2 freeze traps with the same pair as before. And that way, when the flinger starts throwing, it gets frozen before it can actually throw, and it's permanently frozen. But since the patch, this is only gonna work 5 times, so this is no longer a viable solution. Maybe you could still use it and put like wall darts, like 1 wall dart here and 1 wall dart here, just shooting at them while they are frozen. But this one should be better than this alternative. Every once in a while, they can actually throw one of the skulls instead of the husk, and that could, for example, land on top of one of these 2 tiles. But it's very rare. But if you feel more comfortable, you can just add an anti-air like here. But these 2 floors should usually be just enough. You can also try with 3 floors instead, and just going the cheapest way. With 3 floors should be a bit safer though. So that should be it for Flingers and Assassins. Now, usually on this tile is where I'm gonna be placing my base. I'm showing my loadout right now. As you can see, I'm putting Machinist Harper as commander, just for extra trap durability. And I'm using Supercharged Traps Team perk. This is to give extra damage to all the traps in this tunnel. Just because on wave 4, the tornado is gonna remove some traps. So to counter that, since the tornado is removing damage from our tunnels, I'm just adding extra damage with the team perk. That's gonna be the best way to counter the tornado. And it's also gonna be healing all these walls, just in case there's any explosion, it's gonna be healed by the next time the amp gets attacked. And it's gonna heal any damage done by the tornado. No, you don't really need to place a base, but it's gonna be the most recommended. Like sometimes I also just load in as a ninja and start my endurance, but without loadout it's gonna be better. Just extra durability and extra damage on this amp. Now, what can go wrong with this build? One issue is usually gonna be trap durability, because this amplifier gets attacked every run in at least 3 waves. And one of the waves, 24, is gonna be pretty long compared to others. So trap durability is gonna become an issue if it gets hit by multiple random waves. For example, if it gets hit on wave 16 and 26, during wave 26, these traps are gonna be running out, and you might have to replace them. Otherwise, you can expect explosions, because most of the sungwalls are gonna run out, and the first ceiling gas traps and the first wall launcher are all gonna run out. So if you get 26 in this amp, you should know that you have to rush here and replace some traps. Then sometimes the tornado is gonna remove a couple extra traps more than usual, but it should be fine anyways. Unless, of course, you're also running out of durability and at the beginning. Another thing that you have to be careful is try to stand on the AFK spot, or anywhere from here to that side of the map is gonna be fine, but don't go stand on this side of the map. If you stand on this side of the map while PT is getting attacked, gas are gonna try to follow you, and they will start breaking this block off. And once a couple layers of block off are gone, then all the rest of the gas are just gonna break through here and skip all the trap tunnel. So yeah, you need to be careful about where you are standing. Usually AFK spot is gonna be the safest place. So that's it. Good luck building, and see you on the next upload.